Well, hello, Patriots. Hello, Patriots. Y'all having some fun tonight? Yeah, y'all need to. Life's too short not to do that. Well, I just want to thank Fran and Julie, of course, for having this opportunity. And you guys are so lucky, so fortunate. You get a new chapter of the True Texas Project up here in Collin County. That's really cool because we need you in Dallas County. Y'all are the firewall to help us out. So, it's a good thing we got Collin County going. We're going to get one in Dallas County. We got it going too. But good conservatives up here. Well, I'm going to give you a little bit of peek behind the curtains of the Texas Senate when I was there. I won the election in 14 and I lost the election in 18 to a Democrat when Beto took over Dallas County and knocked us all out. But I'm going to also give you a peek of what happens to some of our conservative legislation and why it doesn't become law in Texas. Well, first let me just say that there's three things I was most proud of when I was down there in Austin. The first thing was I was always voted one of the most conservative state senators by the scorecards, by the ranking system. And I was real proud of that. How many of y'all have heard of Mark Jones at Rice University Liberal Conservative Index? Good, and not very many. You guys need to Google that thing up. Okay, it's the most comprehensive scorecard you're going to see of where your legislators in Austin rank between liberal and conservative. Because have you ever seen a Republican that didn't say he was conservative? No. That's because most of them lie, right? So you need to look up that ranking because it's really non-political, it's non-partisan. It ranks all of them, Democrats too. So you need to see that, and I encourage you to get in there and look it up. But anyway, I was ranked one of the most conservative. And two was that I was, according to the Secretary of the Senate, the only elected office holder in modern history that never took a penny from the state of Texas. When I say that, it means I never took a salary, a pension, health care, per diem, a reimbursement, never filled out a travel voucher. I never received a penny from the state of Texas for me personally. And I say that because it was real important for me. And that's because I never wanted to work for the government, and I never will work for the government. I work for the people. You guys are the ones that hired me. And third thing, my legislative accomplishment I was most proud of is I uncovered the largest political corruption scandal in modern history, and that's in political corruption in Texas modern history, and that's based on measured by how much money elected office holders can steal from taxpayers. Have y'all heard of Dallas County Schools? Okay, y'all heard. That's not Dallas Independent School District, right? This is Dallas County Schools. 100-year-old organization, 3,000 employees, $100 million annual budget, and I smelled a rat. So I had a lot of hearings on them. They couldn't answer any questions. And we uncovered, really, that they were stealing money. Not just a little bit of money, but tens of millions of dollars of taxpayers' money. And I'm the one that got the Texas Rangers involved, and then we got the FBI involved, and Dallas County DA office. Well, we got 6 people put in prison. So we got 6 people serving jail, including the mayor pro tem of the city of Dallas, Dwayne Caraway. So he's sitting in prison right now. But let me tell you something. I got this bill done in Austin to close them down, to wipe them out. And I got it done. We got it passed. But I had to work my tail off to get that done. I couldn't believe how hard it was. And I got it done in the last 3 days in the House on an amendment on another bill. And it was a real struggle. Even though these guys had lots of press on them and the investigative reporters were on them, but we did get it done. But it shouldn't have surprised me how hard it was to get that done. Because let me tell you what happened in my first Republican Senate caucus meeting. Let me set the table for you. Okay, in the Texas Senate, you probably know, there's 31 state senators. We represent around 900,000 Texans each, more than a congressional district. When I was there, there's 20 Republicans and 11 Democrats. Not very many. We have a lot of authority. So anyway, we would meet every Monday night, and they still do, at a restaurant somewhere in Austin. And at the caucus, we discuss our business. So I go to my very first caucus meeting. Little old me, I'm very nervous and anxious, and I take in there my favorite document, one of my favorite documents. This is our state party platform, right here. It clearly defines who we are as Texas Republicans. And it sets out our priority, our legislative priorities. It's put together by tens of thousands of grassroots Republicans. So I'll put it on my chair. I kept it with me in campaigning. I keep it in my Senate desk when I was there. But anyway, I had it on my chair. And so we're going around the circle, and they say, my turn, and I say, Senators, I think there's two things we need to get done this session. Just two. One, we need to get rid of the business tax. The franchise tax, margin tax. That's a priority right here in the Republican Party platform. You know, business taxes are all paid by the consumer, and we can phase it out. Good bill. I said, the second thing we need to get done is constitutional care. I said, that's the number one legislative priority of our party right here in our platform. See, look, guys, I get it, Senators. If you don't want to vote for the bill, I hope to persuade you otherwise. But the most important thing is, let's get the bill to the floor. Let's vote on it, so people can see where you stand on this issue.
No.
In other words, you can be accountable to the voters that sent you here. And you know what I heard? Nothing. Crickets. And then, this is true, a fork hit a plate, and it really sounded like a church bell. And then, gradually, 1, 2, 3, 4 or more senators got up from the table in the middle of the meal and left the room. Well, needless to say, the rest of the night was quite awkward. Very awkward. Well, the next morning, I get a message. It said, Senator Huffines, you need to apologize for what you said last night. And I said, what did I say? And they said, you specifically said you're going to hold a fellow Republican senator accountable to the voters. And I said, I did say that, and I damn sure not apologizing. I committed right then to work on those two issues as hard as I could, as long as I was a Texas senator, and I did. And they committed to make sure they would never have to vote on those issues. Now, Patriots, I'm going to tell you something. Something you might not know, but you need to know. Most, but not all, of your elected Republican office holders, they don't like you. As a matter of fact, it's fair to say that a lot of them hate you. They belittle you. They make fun of you. They use you. They were duplicitous, and they were liars. Oh, you know why? Because you might hold them accountable. You might hold them accountable to their campaign promises. You might even hold them accountable to our party platform. Oh, maybe Huffines, you're being a little hard on them, aren't you?
No.
Well, because they do like being accountable, but not to you. They love to be accountable to the media, to the money, the lobbyists, to each other, all the fellow club members, leadership.
Chinese.
Worst of all. What really makes me angry, when I was down there to pull my hair out, it just killed me. What they would say almost every caucus meeting, even in the lunchroom, who they wanted to be accountable to, who they cared about more than anything. The Democrats.
Right.
The Democrats. I am not kidding you. They would always say, well, what do the Democrats think? How are the Democrats going to respond? What are we going to do about the Democrats? They said it all the time. Have you ever seen our elected Republican leaders, statewide leaders, have this in their hand, our party platform? Have you ever seen King Greg walk around with this in his hand? I never have. He's never mentioned it. What about Dan Patrick, our lieutenant governor? I served with him 2 sessions. He never once mentioned our party platform. As a matter of fact, I've heard him say the opposite. He didn't want to deal with it. Any of our elected office holders. They don't want to deal with it. You know why? Why you don't hear our statewides talking about it? Because they don't believe in it. They don't believe in it. If they wanted this to become law, guess what? It would be law. 300 planks in here. 10 legislative priorities every session. And every session, we come down to Austin. Please, sir, would you please pass some of our priorities? Please. They don't do that. But they're going to go back to their home, their district. They're going to beg you for $1 and they're going to beg you for $1. And they're going to tell you that they're so conservative. Right? But they don't even really bother to pass any of this unless it's watered down. But don't worry. You're going to get some. Because here's what happens. It's what everything happens in the Texas Senate. Everything's decided in the back room. Back there in the back room where you can't see what's going on. Every vote is known before it gets to the floor. Every vote. No bill has ever come up to the Texas Senate when I was there that did not pass. All the deals are made in the back room. It's the principal's office. I got called back there a lot. They're going to put their boots back up on the desk. They're going to open the drawer. They're going to pull out that whiskey bottle. They're going to pour themselves a cocktail. And then they're going to say, well, we're going to get the Grassroots this year. Oh, I don't know. We'll get you something. 1 issue, maybe 2 if they make a mistake. And they'll water it down so it won't mean anything. It'll never be a major issue. They're going to give you a party favor. That's what you're going to get. You're going to get a little party favor. And then they're going to go out and say, this was great. What a great conservative session. You're going to argue with them. And they're going to tell you to shut the hell up and slam a pacifier in your mouth. Yep. And then they're going to go around the state of Texas. And they're going to say, whoa, this was so great. They're going to tell the media it was so conservative. This is the most conservative session we've ever had. We have never had a conservative session in the history of this great state. Not one time. Never. But just look at the issues. What? Have they outlawed abortion? No. What about property tax relief? Getting rid of property tax. What about securing the border? Look, if we wanted a secure border, I guarantee you that border would be secure. They don't want it secure. Well, what about, I don't know, my favorite issue? Well, second favorite. School choice. I love school choice. It's been on our list for 30 years. 30 years it's been a priority. But the most important issue? Voter fraud. Election integrity. Nothing. It is the foundation of our republic. It's the foundation of our civilization. When we lose confidence in our voting, it starts cracking. Our foundation will crack. Tyranny is the results. We know dead people vote. We know illegals, non-citizens are registering to vote. And they're voting by the tens of thousands. But that's not bad enough. What about software manipulation? If they can program software to count the vote, they can program software to change the vote. And now we got to deal with that. But who's in charge of voter fraud? Attorney General and the governor. Greg Abbott was Attorney General for 12 years.
That's right.
He never mentioned it that I know of. He's governor now. He doesn't say anything about it. Hasn't done anything about it to secure our elections. Do you know how many people do y'all think works in the Attorney General's office? 4,000. 4,000. Do you know how many attorneys work in the Attorney General's office? Over 700. Do you know how many they assigned to voter fraud? Two. And for 30 million people, the most significant thing we could ever touch as far as keeping confidence. Well, if that's not bad enough, now we have big tech censoring us, right? We can't even get our message out. The media is totally controlled by the liberal elites. Where was, as Representative Rinaldi said, where was and are our Republican office holders?
They're giving Facebook and Apple millions.
That's right. We gave them millions to come to Texas, but where's all of our feckless Republican leaders in Washington or in Austin? They're cowards. The most important character trait needed to be a true patriot is to be brave. To be brave. It's so hard to stand up, as these two patriots can tell you, when everybody's telling you to sit down. Don't you understand? You're not going to get a committee assignment. Don't you understand? You're not going to be a committee chairman. You're a part of the club. You've got to be with us. You're not going to hear anything from those guys. They're cowards. Where are they? Right? This is an embarrassment that we're having this struggle. I even have to say this tonight when we should be fighting the Democrats, the socialists. Socialism always leads to communism. Always. It leads to tyranny. Always. And the horrors are unimaginable. Unimaginable. The Democrats are the ones that are trying to replace God with government. They're doing a very good job of that. They are destroying this country. They're destroying our liberty. This is a clear case of good versus evil. It really is. Tyranny is evil. Patriots, we need to illuminate the battlefield. We need to shine a light on those that are with us and those that aren't. Let me read you something. Revelations 3:15. I know your deeds. You're neither cold nor hot. How I wish you were one or the other. So because you're lukewarm, neither hot nor cold, I'm about to vomit you out of my mouth. Well, I pray this will never be said about me. And I don't think it'll be said about anyone in here. Because you understand the true purpose of government. And that is always to defend our God-given liberty. I want you to ask every candidate that's running from dog catcher to governor that question. What is the purpose of government? If they give you some mealy-mouthed, stupid answer, they can't answer it what I just said. It's to defend your God-given liberty, your birthright. That is your birthright as a human. If they can't answer that, run away and find somebody else. Find somebody else. You understand how important that is. You understand we swear allegiance to a document, not to a king or a queen, or to the military, or to the president, but a document that was written, our Constitution, specifically to restrain government, specifically to enshrine your God-given liberties. Well, patriots, when we can identify these issues, and we can then identify leaders that have true, undaunted courage, true courage, that can find the resolutions to them. We have the resolutions to all these issues. We can solve and save these problems, and we can save Texas. I used to say, when we lose Texas, we're going to lose the USA, or so goes Texas, goes the USA. I don't say that anymore. I say when we lose Texas, we lose the free world.
Come on.
That means we lose civilization as we know it. Time is not on our side. It's not. But I have confidence in you guys. I really do. I really believe that our greatest days are yet to dawn. And our time is coming. Our time is coming soon. God bless you. God bless Texas. For liberty, prosperity, and virtue always. I love you guys. Thank you.